I think we already have that. I really do. And the reason I say that is because there's a huge amount of money that comes to Wyoming from the federal government. It's just distributed wrong. But you got to also think that there's also other entities in Wyoming that contribute to that very system. United Way, donors, assistance, everything. What is growing that people don't see is some of the things that are going in facilities such as senior service satellites and stuff like that. You got to pay them people to make a wage, to provide for the elderly. We need to strengthen that a little bit, but we need to look and also make sure it's ran properly.
My mom still lives at home, and I know if I was in a position to take her to a home, she'd go out fighting and scratching and kicking. So it's very important that people are able to stay in their own homes, and I think preventative care, telehealth, and also in-home care would be less expensive than going to a care facility. So I think it's very important that people are able to stay in their own homes. That should be a priority.
Again, I'm very amazed at some of the communities, what they're doing on a private sector basis. Sheridan has a facility for seniors that allows them to socialize more and to come together and enjoy activity. And I believe the more we can get other communities to build up their senior centers, that would be a very helpful aspect. And that would allow them to stay in their homes longer. And also there should be volunteer groups from the churches that go visit people occasionally to keep them activated and motivated. And that's, again, something that the churches and the private sectors can play a huge role in making sure that our seniors are loved and respected to the very end.
I believe our number one objective needs to be to keep folks in their home as long as possible, or as close to their home as long as possible. In today's world, technology has afforded us many opportunities to do just that. That with telemedicine and telediagnostic services, telemonitoring, we have the perfect opportunity as Wyoming to lead in this regard. We're rural and we have a low population base. And I look forward to pushing this forward for our state. We need to keep people in their homes as long as possible so that our loved ones can care for us and be close to us.
You know, as Wyoming's population ages, I think it's important to remember that having a healthy home, having a home that you can stay in, and having the services like Wyoming Senior Home Health and other services like that are incredibly important. As governor, I think it's helpful that the governor can help set those priorities. And as governor, I would help set the priorities to make sure that we support home health, that we support senior centers, as these are important for nutritional needs. They're important for services such as being able to fill out paperwork, and they're important as social gathering centers. I think as Wyoming enters this next several years, as our population ages, it is critical that we make sure that these services are well supported, and I will actually do my best to make sure that happens.
This is one of those issues that I've talked about almost every place I've been in the state of Wyoming as I have traveled in running for governor. This is a critically important issue for our citizens in Wyoming. I've talked to children who've had to move their parents hundreds of miles away to get the kind of care that they need. And I don't think that that is the kind of model that we want to have in Wyoming. I believe that we should be looking at the Utah model. The Utah model actually provides more flexibility in terms of our licensing and regulations and allowing people to stay in assisted living facilities and receiving home health services rather than moving folks into a nursing home. So two of the things that I have talked about is we need to reform our regulations and our licensing requirements in Wyoming so that we can make sure that we're providing those services within our community that are more cost effective and more effective and actually provide better services to our seniors. I have been working with the community colleges to see whether we can come up with programs for home health care.
It's a very important question because not only in senior care, but in all forms of health care, we've learned that in-home care is cheaper and response to in-home care is better as far as getting well and also being compliant. So what we have to do is, using our community college system, we need to increase our number of CNAs and RNs to be our troops on the ground to go into homes, and we have to redirect funds to home health care, and we have to redirect funds to training and so forth, part of the community college program that I put forth.
Well, of course, Wyoming has to take on its revenue challenges and look for revenue to support all of our basic government services. The last year I was in the legislature, I thought we made a lot of penny-wise and pound-foolish decisions by not funding home-based care. We could also restore senior dental care, which would help the overall health of many of our seniors. But with a looming projected cost of $186 million to $312 million a year in nursing home costs for the state, we simply cannot afford to not keep our seniors in their homes longer. I've been in senior citizen centers across the state, and they provide invaluable services, but they cobble together their funding from a mishmash of sources, and we need to make sure that those services are available across the state so we can keep seniors in their homes.